Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Oh my goodness. So this Tuesday with Tawana, this is take three, take three, take three. Why the live keeps cutting off today, but that's okay. You know what that tells me? That tells me that somebody needs to hear this message. In this moment, somebody needs to hear this message. And so we're going to share it anyway. For those of you who joined me earlier, Brenda, Camille, thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me through the technology challenges. Thank you. When you catch this again, Brenda, right now I'm kind of laughing at this point because it's just like, and this is why, right? Days when I get up and I'm like, oh, why am I talking? What am I going to share today? Does anybody even need to hear this today? Is this going to speak to anybody? It's times like this when I realize the most that somebody needs to hear this message, because there is some reason why this particular message today keeps cutting off. And so I'm determined. Hey, Seychelle. Hey, Camille. Thank you, ladies, for hopping back on. Look, we're going to get through this today. Okay? We really are. We really are. I'm going to go back through some of the things that we touched on earlier. I hope you don't mind. If you have to hop off, I truly understand. Yet I really want this message to have continuity to it. This is part 3 now. and it's easy to get lost in the sauce, right? Yet I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged by you. I'm encouraged by this topic because I'm convinced, because this live keeps cutting out the way that it keeps cutting out on us, somebody needs to hear it. So we're going to go through. We started journaling on today's Tuesday with Tawana, right? We will get through it, Seychelle. Yes, we will. So grateful that you were able to join us at this time. We're going to get through this. So we're journaling a little bit today. Apologize, I don't have my little StreamYard captions and whatnot, but you know what? We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're journaling today. And I'd like you to type some numbers in the chat, right? And let this be a moment of reflection, right? We're going to be honest with ourselves. I'm asking you these questions because I answered them. I answered them for myself already this morning. And I'm putting it out there. Me articulating to you is telling you that I answered each one of these, right? So don't feel like, oh, I don't want nobody to know, because I'm exposing. Glass house right here. Glass house. Okay. You see me. Glass house. All right. Let's do this. So today we're talking about when more isn't enough, when more is not enough, right? If you can relate, type these numbers in the chat. Number one, if you're feeling the need, right? The need to become more visible, put a 1 in the chat. You feel a need to become more visible. Put a 2 in the chat. If there's a need, a pressure, a drive, a hunger, a longing to get more clients, put a 2 in the chat. Remember, you are not doing this alone, right? Put a 2 in the chat. Okay? Put a 3 in the chat. If time has not been on your side lately, right? Time management. Put a 3 in the chat. Okay? Put a 4 in the chat if you are needing to define your brand, right? You're like, I know I've got something good here, but I don't know, something's missing. It's just not speaking to someone, or maybe it's not truly speaking to who I am, right? Define your brand. I see you, ladies. Hey, Danielle, thank you for joining. Scaling your business. Put a 5 in the chat if you're like, oh gosh, I need to scale my business, right? Everything is all on you. You want some processes and systems in place. You want to automate the goodness, right? So that it just happens, right? You want some people around you and in your business to help you with all the stuff. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to scale your business, right? Put a 6 in the chat if anxiety and overwhelm have been nearby lately. If anxiety and overwhelm have been nearby lately, put a 6 in the chat, right? And I'm looking up at my notes, okay? I want to stay focused. If you're feeling frustrated and misunderstood, I see you, ladies. I see you. Put a 7 in the chat. If you're feeling frustrated and misunderstood, something happened yesterday that was really positive. I picked up the phone and I called 2 of my innermost circle people. 2 of them, 3-way FaceTime. And I hung up the phone and said, wrong call. Wrong call. They meant well, right? They wanted to support and celebrate that moment. But they're not women in business. They're not women entrepreneurs. They didn't get it, right? I made the wrong call. And I'll share more about that, what that call was about. But right now, put an 8 in the chat. If you're needing a boost of confidence, put an 8 in the chat. If you're needing a boost of confidence, right? I like that, for a dash of 6. Just a little bit, right? Put an 8 in the chat if you're needing a boost of confidence. Now, as we continue to journal, and thank you so much, ladies who are revisiting these with me. Thank you for participating. If you just joined us, #live. If you're on the replay, #replay. When you see this, we're journaling a little bit this morning as we do our Tuesday with Tawana. We're talking about when more isn't enough. The next thing on our journal today is, what kind of strategies do you want? Put in the chat in 5 words or less. Swift, top of the mind. What kind of strategies do you want? Right? When you think about where you are, what you need, where you're going, you're like, ooh, if I had this, I get there. If I had that, it'll happen. If I do this, it'll change. What strategy do you want? Put it in the chat. 5 words or less. As you finish keying that in, right? As you finish keying that in, put in the chat one change you're willing to make. Hey, baby love, you're back with your blanket. One change you're willing to make. 3 words or less. What's that one change? Type that in the chat. Top of mind. Don't overthink. Don't try to make it politically correct. We are journaling. What's a strategy you think you need? Give it to me in 5 words or less. And what's one change you're willing to make to get there? If you can say it in 3 words or less, right? Another moment to journal. This one's a little simpler, right? It's not going to require, I'm not trying to overwork you here this evening, right? For those of you who are on the other side of the world. Type a X. Type a X, and I want you to listen carefully and listen closely. Type a X in the chat if you've built a business to build generational wealth, but your bank account doesn't match. Type a X. This isn't the to poke fun, make fun. This is just acknowledging where we are right now. If Facebook would let me type in the chat, let me see. I'm going to type an X, right? I don't know if it went through, but I typed the X. Type an X in the chat if you're feeling overworked and underpaid. Overworked and underpaid. type of X in the chat. And guess what? This isn't just about business. If you are a woman in this group who is momming right now, who is being a companion right now, who is being a friend right now, a sister, a cousin, right? A volunteer and a business owner. And I know I left some other stuff out like custodian and cafeteria lady, right? Physical therapist, all those things. If you are feeling overworked and underpaid right now in this season of living, put an X in the chat. Now hear this one clearly. Hear this one clearly before you get finger happy. If you want to be in the same place this time next week, next month, or next year, put an X in the chat. If you want to be in the same place, I'm not typing X because I'm going to tell you ladies right now, I don't. I have no desire to be in this same place, right? Feeling this same feeling, looking at these same numbers with the same level of responsibility this time next week, next month, or next year. Right? No, thank you. I'm with Brenda. No, thank you. Hey, Lauren, how are you this Tuesday? Thank you for joining. Look, if you're done, we're still journaling this morning, right? We're still journaling. We've got one more journaling thing after this. And then I promise you, we're going to get to the root of this message, right? We're going to get to the core of it. Okay. If you are done with doing everything everyone else is doing and ready to find your own flow, I would like for you to type flow in the chat, right? You want your energy. You want your confidence boosted. You want some ease to life and business. You want more abundance, less scarcity. You want your mindset shifts, right? To match the perspective that you know you need to have in life and business. You want time availability. You want more leisure. You want greater health. You want wealth. Wealth is not just money, right? You want autonomy. I don't know about you, but I know I didn't go into business to be ran around by all the things, by all the people, right? By all the demands. That's why I use the word boss very loosely. I just prefer autonomy. Because here's the thing. When we leave our full-time job, it's not that we don't have any more bosses. We have more bosses. We just get to choose them, right? Because everything around us then becomes boss-ish, right? Because at least when we were working at our full-time jobs, we had a boss and some people who thought they were our bosses, but you knew where your income was coming from, right? Some things you just knew. You just knew. But in entrepreneurship, what we know is our intent, right? We know our intent. We know the things that we put in place with the purpose of certain things happening, right? And at every stage, at every phase of growth in entrepreneurship, you will find yourself putting things in place and then making some tweaks and some pivots, right? You can't just show up and be running the mill. You're going to be making some tweaks and some pivots, right? So put flow in the chat if you're done doing everything else, everyone else is doing, and you want your own flow. Let's get it, right? To results-driven women, entrepreneurs like you, more, just simply having more isn't enough. And the truth is, we realize that once we get to more, it's not that we needed more, right? It's not that we needed more. We needed to realize that who we are, what we have in our hands right now, right, is enough to be who we aspire to be starting right now. So that CEO that you think you'll be in a near future point in time, she starts right here today, right? Flow. Okay? That mom that you aspire to be, she starts right here today. That companion that you aspire to be, she starts right here today, right? That public speaker, that executive support, right? That 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever your figure desire is. She starts right here today. Small wins lead to big victories. And so if we don't start acknowledging our small wins, the big ones will seem so far away. We'll fall short of them, right? Flow. What we need instead of more stuff, more tactics, more tools is to adapt to the perspective, ladies, right? That mindset means more than strategy. The stat is 80% mindset, 20% strategy. As your resident coach in this group, right? As the host of this amazing community, right? As one-on-one coaches, as a one-on-one coach and consultant to many of you, I can give you all of the strategies in the world, but none of them will mean a thing and none of them will take either of us further if the mindset doesn't supersede the tactic, right? We need the perspective to respect our craft. We each come with some dynamic things, some dynamic experiences, some dynamic expertise, right? From our walks of life, from education pursued, from jobs worked, right? And from opportunities launched. We each bring something different to the table. We each bring shared experiences to the table. Yet if we don't respect our crafts, what we are here to do, what we are able to do, we will suffer in silence about them, thinking that they aren't enough, thinking that we aren't enough, right? Thinking that we haven't done enough, thinking we don't have enough to get there, right? Confidence in knowing our worth, our perspective matters. We need to know our worth, right? In order to be magnetizing and attract the clients that we want. Not just keep attracting ideal, but keep attracting real people that we can talk to, real people who understand what we communicate, what we express, real people who will lean in and respect the expertise that they have sought from us to give them, right? Valuing our worth. Believing in ourselves enough to know that we are already the exposure, right? Type this in the chat. I want to know that you're still with me. I am successful now and my actions show it. I am successful now and my actions show it, right? And here's why I want you to type that. Because even if you're feeling like you aren't successful right now, we're claiming it. Faith comes by hearing, right? And so when we claim it, when we profess it, I am successful now, we can start showing up better now. But if we keep saying, oh, when I get there, I'll be successful, we're going to keep trying. But that get there goal, that line in the sand is going to keep seeming so far away. We're never going to mount up to getting there because getting there is just always going to seem unattainable and unapproachable. So I am successful now and my actions show it. Let's start showing up right now. Okay? I want you to consider this. Would you rather have more time freedom or more obligations? Right? That's right, Camille. We're claiming it. You said that to me this morning. I'm claiming it, Camille. Right? Do you want more time freedom or more obligations? Do you want more consistency in doing the things that don't work for you? Or do you want more continuity, right? Continuity of doing the things that do work for you. Do you want more capacity so that you can help others? Or do you want more capability because you're consuming all the knowledge, but you're not applying anything, right? So you're fully competent and capable because you are just taking it all in and you're taking it all in and you're researching it and you're figuring it out all the ways, but you're not putting it in the action, right? I want to have more capacity to do more. Not be all locked up and jammed up in my schedule because I'm just sitting on all these calls and workshops and not applying anything that I've learned, right? Here is what you need. We're getting now that we've journaled, all hearts and minds cleared, we can talk about the rule of 3. When more isn't enough, right? We can talk about the rule of 3. I want you to ask yourself, do you have single solution thinking? Single solution thinking, right? I see you, ladies. I'm with you. Single solution thinking makes us think that there's only one way to solve the problem. Ooh, how many of you know, right? Say I, put an I in the chat. When you feel like there's only one way to solve a problem, it just backs you into a corner. I don't like feeling like there's only one way. Now, I understand why sometimes there is only one way. I understand sometimes why there's a critical way, there's a most preferred way. But when we are the CEOs in our businesses, when we are the leading influencers in our household, married or not, right? Some might be head of household by nature of income. Some might be head of household by nature of household dynamics, demographics, right? But as women, we set the tone. We absolutely set the tone in our households, in our business, in all of our organic relationships. And when we feel backed in a corner, fangs come out. Fangs come out. It makes bear claws come out, right? Won't like it. It's uncomfortable. I see it, boo. Good job. Do you have 2 potential solutions? So first, you want to evaluate, do I have a single solution thinking? Am I stuck in that? Another thing you want to evaluate is, do I have 2 potential solutions? Now, 2 potential, tongue twister, 2 potential solutions seems better, right, than 1 single solution. But with 2, there's still a dilemma. There's still a dilemma because we're talking about when more isn't enough, right? Just having more isn't enough. If you have 2 potential solutions, you have a dilemma because now you've got to decide which one I choose. How do I make that decision? What parameters do I weigh, right? The last thing you want to weigh to determine what is enough is whether or not you have 3 solutions. 3 solutions. Now, when you're working with 3 solutions, you really have a choice. You have a real choice when you're working with 3 solutions, right? Because you've already broken the log jam, right? That brain fog, that funk, that, there's only one way and I don't know if that'll work for me, right? Or, oh my gosh, I've got 2 choices, but I don't know which one to choose. But when you have 3, you're like, well, I could do this, I could do that, or I could do it that way. Which way works for me, right? And when you can come up with 3 solutions to a problem, to a need, you're often find that you're able to generate maybe even 4, 5, or 6. We're talking about evaluating, determining when more isn't enough. Because just having more stuff, more how to, more time, right? Because how do we know we clear stuff off our schedule only for it to get filled with other things, right? That unintended consequence. How do we evaluate when more isn't enough? Do you have a single solution thinking? Do you have 2 solutions? Or can you come up with 3 or more solutions so that you have a real choice in the matter of how you move, right? We talked about flow, having your own flow. And that's what entrepreneurship is about, right? Having your own flow. We're not saying we can't be inspired by others, by other people's, by proven methods, right? But how can we then take that and find our flow with it? Those are the 3 rules for determining when more isn't enough. And if you want to know more, right? If you want to know more deeply whether or not you are moving in is more enough, I want you to drop a heart. Because there's a rule of 3 for the coaches and consultants pricing blueprint. And we're going to talk more about that in our May live event, right? The coaches and consultants pricing blueprint. Drop a heart when you want that so that I'll know to send you a follow-up message. Because we're going to do this 2-day workshop and it's not going to be all day. Nobody got time for that, right? Not more things to keep you preoccupied, right? But ways to help you get more of your time back so that you can do more of what you want and not just have more of what everybody else is requiring of you, right? During this 2-day event, May 13th and May 14th, we're going to be talking about the coaches and consultants pricing blueprint, the winning strategy to package your expertise to profit. Many of you here are doing business, and I know you are leaving money on the table because we've talked about it. We've talked about it, right? You've got your product and or your service. You are giving your customers and have the potential to give so many of your customers advocacy, not just answers, but advocacy. You are consulting with them, yet you're not seizing that consulting as an opportunity. And that's what we're going to talk about working through. That's the ground that we're going to lay, the foundation that we're going to lay so that you can start building more opportunity in your business, right? Less of the feast and the famine. Creating room for you to breathe. That way, more tactics isn't consuming you. More clients aren't consuming you. We want to have a continuous flow of clients, but you don't want to have a calendar full of clients to get more of what you want out of life. It won't happen, right? The more clients you have at a single time, the less time you have to serve them, the less time you have to show up for your family, the less time you have to get visible externally to the people you're already serving, because you will be completely completely consumed with the hundreds, 20s, 30s, 50s, 15s of people that you're serving, right? When more isn't enough, you can have more clients on the books. You can have more people buying your stuff and still not have enough. Enough time, enough money, enough freedom, enough leisure, enough flow of what is important to you, right? During our time together in the coaches and consultants pricing blueprint, we're going to be talking about getting a comprehensive strategy that leads to massive impact, right? Your impact, your consulting, your expertise, not mine, yours. How can you put that out and put that on the table so that more people can receive what you need and do something with it, right? How can you make that work for you? A plan to avoid the biggest mistakes most entrepreneurs made. I made when I first went out on this journey with pricing my expertise and my products when I had them, right? How to understand how to deeply connect with other humans. People do business with who they know, like, and trust, right? We talk about outbound touches. We talk about getting out there, meet more people. What about the people you already know? Did we forget about them? Did we forget about the people with whom we're already connected to, with whom we already have a relationship with? They'll convert more quickly than anyone else, right? Establishing frameworks to package your expertise to profit. Consistently doing so, doing it in a way that you can show up to each new person that you meet every time, right? Every time. You're not flip-flopping here and there and everywhere. You're not afraid to have the conversation about how you can help them because you've got your strategy. You've got your framework on how to speak to your expertise, how to speak to what they need, right? And then just experiencing a revived sense of joy, clarity, and confidence, right? Being committed to showing up and selling your audaciously beautiful service, right? Discover the foundational principles of the consultant's rule of 3. Discover how to restore a healthy fusion of valuing your worth, aligning your vision, and leveraging human capital to accomplish it, right? Humanize your business. As Seychelles would say, humanize your commerce, right? There are people behind it. And then discover, right? Open up any blockages and release with clarity, confidence, and commitment, right? We keep going back to commitment, to having abundance and ease in our business because life is hard. This season of living is hard, okay? And no matter what level we're at, no matter how much and how much more we get, there will still be something to tackle. There will still be something that needs to be conquered in the midst of it, right? So drop a heart. Drop a heart. You're interested in the Coaches and Consultants Pricing Blueprint. 2-day short workshop. I'm going to call it a workshop mini, right? A workshop mini, May 13th and 14th. We're going to talk about it. And I'll make sure to follow up with you, send you a message, right? And during that time, we'll also speak to the opportunity to work with me in a community. Yes, Seychelles, humanize commerce. You taught me that, right? I talk about being a human in business, but you've given me such a greater perspective about humanizing commerce. Thank you so much for being you and for sharing that. Thank you for using your voice to teach others what it means to have sustainable business, right? This is what we're here for. This is what we're about. So what's stopping you, ladies? Do not let anything get in the way. Not your feelings, not the temporary circumstances of what's happening right now, this week, last week, today, tomorrow. We can't control what's outside of us, but we can control, right, what's happening within us. And I'm here to encourage you, and I'm even here to challenge you to show up, to be audacious, and to package your expertise to profit. Okay? Yes, you can. All right? Drop a heart. Send me a DM. Let's do this. As you are inviting more women to the group, and we talked about good-hearted women, women who are here to thrive, not just survive. Women who are here to give value, not just to take, right? But to show up, to glow up, to extend compassion, and to give one another grace. As we invite other women into this group, remember you have the opportunity to win a 90-minute deep dive consult with me. Okay? We're going to talk about all things concerning you and your business and help you figure out where you're leaving money on the table. Help you figure out some ways that you can sell as you package that expertise to profit. You're going to find new opportunities. I'm not in the weeds of your business, so I can help you point out your blind spots, just like I have a coach who helps me, right? Show up, glow up. When more is not enough, let's determine and evaluate using our rule of three, our solutions, what is. Thank you for joining me more than once on this Tuesday with Tawana. Let's do this, ladies.